Football has had its legends, unbreakable men who carved their names into the sport's eternal memory, but no one embodied the collision of talent, swagger, and cultural impact quite like Joe Namath. He was the quarterback who partied all night, yet played like a man possessed on Sunday. He was the kid from a working-class steel town who stood up to the mighty NFL and dared to change the game forever. In January 1969, with the world doubting him, he made one simple promise. "We're gonna win the game. I guarantee it." The question is, how did one brash young quarterback rewrite the future of professional football? Joseph William Namath was born on May 31, 1943, in Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania, a gritty mill town outside of Pittsburgh. His parents were Hungarian immigrants, raising their children amid the smoke of steel mills and the dust of coal mines. Life in Beaver Falls was blue-collar and unrelenting. Families worked long hours just to make ends meet, and for most kids, the dream was not about fame or fortune. It was simply about survival. Joe's childhood was shaped by hardship. His parents divorced when he was still young, and the struggle of a fractured home weighed heavily. But on the playgrounds of Beaver Falls, Joe found escape. He was fast, agile, and gifted. Baseball, basketball, football, he excelled at all of them. Neighbors recalled a boy with boundless energy, a natural leader even among friends. For Joe, sports weren't just games. They were a way out, a chance to break free from the grind of the steel town that seemed to trap so many others. The turning point. Namath's destiny came into focus at Beaver Falls High School. On Friday nights, under the glow of stadium lights, he became a hometown hero. His arm strength was undeniable, his vision rare, his confidence infectious. Word spread quickly, and by his senior year, college scouts crowded the stands just to see him throw. He chose the University of Alabama, where legendary coach Bear Bryant took him under his wing. Bryant was a man of discipline and tradition, yet even he saw something extraordinary in Namath. Despite injuries that plagued his college career, Joe displayed a fearlessness few quarterbacks had ever shown. He was brash, he was bold, and he had the talent to back it up. By the time he left Alabama, Namath wasn't just a prospect. He was a phenomenon. In 1965, the football world was split between two leagues, the established NFL and the upstart AFL. Both wanted Namath. The NFL's St. Louis Cardinals offered him a contract, but the New York Jets of the AFL stunned the sports world by signing him for an unprecedented $427,000, the highest rookie salary in history. Suddenly, this kid from Beaver Falls wasn't just a quarterback. He was the face of a league fighting for survival. The career peak. Namath entered the league with a target on his back. He was brash, handsome, and fearless. Veterans hated him for the money he made and the attention he drew. But Joe thrived under pressure. In his rookie season, he threw for over 2,000 yards and was named AFL Rookie of the Year. His release was quick, his passes elegant. Broadcasters called his throwing motion the most beautiful they had ever seen. But Joe's style came with risk. In 1966, he led the league with over 3,300 passing yards, but also topped it with 27 interceptions. To Namath, turnovers were simply the cost of taking chances. He refused to play safe. By 1967, he made history by becoming the first quarterback to throw for 4,000 yards in a single season, shattering conventions in an era when running the football still dominated. He made defenses fear the pass and forced the league to evolve. Off the field, Namath was just as electric. With his shaggy hair, fur coats, and nightlife escapades, he became Broadway Joe. Young fans adored him. Traditionalists despised him. But everyone knew him. He wasn't just a quarterback anymore. He was a cultural icon. The question remained, could Broadway Joe win the big one? The answer came in January 1969. The Jets, led by Namath, stormed into Super Bowl III against the mighty Baltimore Colts. The Colts were 18-point favorites, widely considered one of the greatest teams of all time. No AFL team had ever beaten an NFL team in the Super Bowl. 3 nights before the game, a heckler challenged Namath at a banquet. Joe stood tall, looked the man in the eye, and said words that would echo through history. "We're gonna win the game. I guarantee it." The world scoffed. Sports writers called it arrogance. Bookmakers laughed. But Namath never wavered. On January 12, 1969, the Jets shocked the world. Namath played with poise, managing the game flawlessly. He didn't throw a single interception. He completed pass after pass, carving up Baltimore's defense. The Jets won 16-7 in one of the greatest upsets in sports history. As the final seconds ticked away, Namath jogged off the field, wagging a single finger in the air. Number 1. That night, Joe Namath wasn't just a champion. He became the symbol of legitimacy for the AFL. His victory forced the NFL to respect its rival, paving the way for the AFL-NFL merger and shaping modern professional football as we know it. Crisis and struggles. But glory never comes without a cost. Namath's career was plagued by injuries, especially to his knees. Even in college, doctors warned that he might never last in the pros. By the late 1960s, he often played through excruciating pain, barely able to walk by the end of games. His gunslinger mentality also meant turnovers haunted his career. For every brilliant throw, there was the risk of disaster. And then there was the lifestyle. The parties, the fame, the late nights, it all became part of the Broadway Joe image. Critics said he cared more about clubs than playbooks. Rumors swirled, scandals followed, and at times his off-field persona overshadowed his accomplishments. Namath himself later admitted that fame was a double-edged sword, yet through it all, one truth remained. When the lights were brightest, Namath delivered. He was never just another quarterback. He was a man who played with charisma, courage, and a defiance that fans couldn't forget. Legacy ending. Joe Namath's career numbers may not rival those of Montana, Brady, or Manning. He won only 1 championship. He threw more interceptions than touchdowns. And yet, his legacy stands unmatched. Because Namath didn't just win games, he changed the sport itself. His swagger made football cool. His guarantee turned the Super Bowl into America's greatest spectacle. His victory legitimized the AFL and ensured the game's explosive growth. Without Broadway Joe, professional football might never have become the cultural force it is today. Even now, decades later, his fur coats, his confidence, and above all, his fearless words live on. "We're gonna win the game. I guarantee it." It remains one of the boldest, most unforgettable promises in sports history, and the night he fulfilled it, Joe Namath stepped beyond the gridiron into legend. Because sometimes a man doesn't need a dynasty to define him. Sometimes all it takes is one game, one moment, and one guarantee. Broadway Joe gave football that moment, and the game was never the same again.